What up, y'all? DC Fago Guy. Today we are going to be reviewing the brand new album from ICP, the final Joker card of the second set, the Naught. This album right here absolutely blew me the fuck away. I went into this really kind of having no expectations for it. I'm somebody who has stated over multiple times that ICP has never put out an album that I've been disappointed with. That includes Woe, that includes The Tempest, The Missing Links. I've loved everything that they've ever put out when other people didn't like them. So going into this album, I pretty much had this expectation that I was going to like what I heard, but I was also going into this kind of with a open mind to they may experiment with this. Before we jump in any further though, I want to give a quick shout out to all of our channel members, Charmakazi, J-Word, Harley VT, Lone Floob, Don't Eat the Crab Dip, Jogalotus BD John, Wes, Seth Moon aka Cali Green, Jose Jimenez, Durable Object, Kabazucha Boom, Lorgasm, Ivy Killa, Unique Freestyles, Do It For The Underground, and Impede23. Thank you guys for your support. If you guys would like to join the channel to help support it, there's a link in the description for you to do so. There are some really great perks available to you at two very affordable prices. So shout out to our members and thank you for your support. So jumping into this, like I had said, I went in with really no major expectations. Now, for anybody who has not seen it, there was a listening party that Megs and I did, kind of serving as a live reaction. And I will say that while my live reaction was very overly positive to the majority of the album, there's a lot of the songs that grew on me even further than what I had going into the listening party. The album to me very much feels very much like it tied everything together. The second set of Joker cards was really kind of focused on life, making the most of your life. Obviously, the Wraith, Shangri-La, and Hell's Pit was kind of like the choice after life, right? And going into the second set with kind of being presented with that same thing, it really kind of felt like there was nothing new there. When the Naught came out and the message and the meaning that there's nothing, it added so much to every single Joker card of the second set. And in some ways, even the first set of Joker cards. Like, that's our choice. Those are our three choices. If you believe in an afterlife, you believe in either a heaven or a hell. If you don't believe in an afterlife, then you believe in there's nothing that happens. Now, there's other theologies out there that exist that go further beyond just the three. But I think that that's kind of like the most commercial outcomes. Heaven, hell, or nothing happens at all. So going into this, I'm somebody who's agnostic, and all three endings really kind of hit for me in what I believe. I felt like the Naught did a very great job of tying everything together to the point that I think when I listened to it and kind of going into it first coming out and it being said that it was going to represent nothing, it all just clicked and made sense. Like, before the album even came out, it's like I was already mentally there. I was already mentally on this is what this album is about. So having it come out and just have that already made up, I didn't really have to dissect anything. I didn't have to super think into it that much. It just clicked so quickly for me, and it's made the album absolutely enjoyable for me. Now, one of the things that I've seen a lot of people kind of comment on is that they feel like the Naught, very much like the Seeds, felt thrown together. I've seen people compare the Naught to the Seeds of Yum Yum, and that I think is because of the mix of producers, which is also something that Yum Yum Bedlam itself had. It's something that Fearless Fred Fury had, and it's something that both Missing Links had, a mix of producers. The only Joker cards that we have had, or the last Joker cards that we have had that had a full production, was Mighty Death Pop and Bang Pow Boom, which had all of Mikey Clark. So going into this, I will say there was one major disappointment going into this, and that was the fact of not having it entirely produced by Mikey Clark. I think going into this album, I had it in my head that he was going to produce more of the album than he did. And I think a couple, like maybe a week or two leading up to the album's release, it was revealed that Mikey Clark really only worked on half of the album. Mikey Clark worked on less than that. I've actually got the production notes pulled up here. I found this on Reddit, which the person who posted this on Reddit got all this information from YouTube, and I think they said Apple Music. I know people that have physical copies. I did not reach out to them to send me pics. I was going to message the homie Echo Side Fiend. I was going to message the homie Gage, and I was going to message the homie Keezy from Deck Wendell and ask them for naughty pics and have them send me pics of the book with the credits and maybe like a pic of them like this. Didn't end up getting around to it. It's been a pretty busy weekend for me, so I didn't get around to doing that, but I'm kind of going off of what I'm seeing here, and I think I've seen this in multiple places that I feel confident in using this source for who produced what tracks. And the final numbers is Mikey Clark only produced 5 tracks out of a 17-track album. I think the most songs produced on this, or who produced the most songs on this, that goes to Shaggy the Airhead. That being said, I have previously stated in a review, I think it was my Wicked Vic review, that I feel like Shaggy the Airhead is really good at emulating Mikey Clark's sound. So much so that when I was listening to this, I honestly thought several of the songs that were produced by Shaggy the Airhead, I thought they were Mikey Clark tracks. Straight up, going straight into the Naught, I thought that was Mikey Clark. So much to the point, like you hear that like guitar riff in the background, that is an element that Mikey Clark used in the song Light Up My Life from Ala Zulu's Gods of Evil Rise track. From their album Gods of Evil Rise, the track is called Light Up My Life. There's that same guitar riff, and when I listen to that song, it gives me this vibe of like an electric chair, which really kind of set that same tone and gave me that same vibe going into the Naught, that it made this like eeriness to it. It really set such a great tone for that song for me. And that's the first track we get. One thing that I really want to say though, that I love that they did with the intro and both flashbacks, that when I first went into this, I know I had kind of made my predictions that I thought the flashbacks was going to be like somebody having a flashback to their life, and then the ending would be them, you know, remembering all that, and the message being to enjoy your life while it lasts, which while that was the message, that was probably one of the biggest disappointments, was the closing track. But these flashbacks and that intro track, absolutely loved that. They could have went the same route that they did with Shangri-La and Hell's Pit and done just a montage track at the end. And actually at one point, with my own little disappointments in While It Lasts, I was like, they should have just done something like that. The more that I've listened to it, the more that I'm like, I'm glad that they didn't. The way that they put that in the intro, they broke up the album with those flashbacks. It was like, as we're listening to this final Joker card of this set, we're getting all these callbacks to the second set of Joker cards. And really, there's callbacks littered throughout the whole album to not just the second set. They go back to the first set even. And I think that the way that they did that was absolutely fucking amazing and awesome. It really made you feel like this sense of the end, which is something else that I had expressed, I think either in a What's Happening Now video, or it might have been in the listening party, that this album didn't really have like this big hurrah to me, because with the Wraith, you had this is the end, we don't know what's coming next. Like, we didn't think there was going to be anything after that. We just thought this is the end. But going into the Naught, we know that there's going to be a third set of Joker cards, and it's almost taken away this element of like, this is it, this is the big one, this is the finale. It removed that element in such a way that going into the Naught, it kind of made the Naught feel more like just another album. It didn't feel like this big ending. But them sprinkling all these callbacks through it helped reignite that and give that feeling of like, this is the end. Like, this is the end of one chapter, and yes, we're moving into another chapter. This right here though, great fucking ending. Absolutely fucking loved it. I've had a really hard time narrowing down my favorite tracks on this. At one point, in my Apple Music, I was just favorite. I wanted to go through and favorite all the ones that were really connecting with me. And then as I would listen, I'm like, all right, I got to narrow this down at least to my top 5. I try to get my top 5 songs if it's an album that's got a lot of tracks. If it's only got like 6 or 7, then I only give 3. But for this, I've come up with 6. I've not been able to narrow it down less than 6. But that being said, this album I'm able to listen to front to back. And I would actually have an easier time talking about the songs that I really didn't care for, but they've grown on me as well. And I think for anybody who watched the listening party, I think that's kind of an obvious that Pop Out was one of the songs that when it played, I immediately was just kind of like getting, not bored. I mean, bored might be the right word. The fact that it starts off like setting the scene for like another zombie slide, another headless boogie, it almost gives this vibe like, all right, we're going into this territory again. We're going to have like this Living Dead kind of dance party. But then you get to the chorus of titties, let me see them, titties, a lot of repetitiveness of the titties. That part loses me a lot, but I feel like the beat and the verses save it enough that I do enjoy Pop Out. But there's something about that chorus that starts to lose me after a little bit. I think it's just the repetition of it. I feel like maybe there could have been something more done with it. Maybe, I don't know. That's just my own little criticisms of it. But it's definitely a song that on the first listen and as time has gone on, there is that temptation to want to skip the track. It does happen. The other track that I feel like I'm having, like, it's a great track. They fucking killed it. But it's kind of like when I go into listening to it, it's kind of like, for me, it's like I don't fully, I mean, I get it, but I don't fully get it. And that is Softy Pillow Man. Basically talking about someone who is a bitch. They don't do shit with their life. They just talk all kinds of mad shit, but they ain't about shit. They talk big game, but they ain't shit. That's kind of the big moral or concept of that track. And I don't know, for me, it just didn't really click right away. I enjoy the song well enough. I enjoy the chorus. It's catchy for sure, but it's another one of those that's kind of like, you know? Like, if this came on a shuffle run, I might skip it. I would probably have the temptation to skip it. And I do want to say a little bit about While It Lasts. I know I had my reaction during the listening party. I lost my shit. I started laughing. Going into this album, I wondered if we were going to get anything like we did with Bloody Sunday. Bloody Sunday was really the first time I ever heard any album from ICP where I just immediately was disappointed. So going into this, in the back of my mind was like, are we going to have anything like that? Could there be? And before I listened to the album, because I waited till the evening of release date to listen to it with everybody else in a live stream, I would see people on Facebook kind of talking about Jay singing. And then one of my top 5 tracks came on. I'm like, oh, this is the singing they're talking about? This to me sounds good. And then I got to While It Lasts, and it's like, oh, this must be what they're talking about. I don't know what it was that made me just instinctively laugh. I felt like an asshole after the fact, because going into this, like, now that I've listened to it more, I understand what they were going for. I understand what their message was and what they were trying to do with that. I understand what they were doing there. And actually, honestly, and I think I put it on Twitter, Jay put in a big ass fucking middle finger. He basically, I'm gonna paraphrase here because I don't have the quote pulled up. I don't have the lyrics pulled up. But he says, and I love that you all hate the shit I do. And while I'm still alive, that shit I'm going to continue. Something along those lines. But he's basically saying, like, in this exact song, the shit you hate that I do, like this singing, you hate that I do it, but I'm gonna keep on doing it because I fucking love doing it. And that to me was like, you know, I get it, I dig it, do your fucking thing, Jay. And really, the chorus is what has saved me. And I think a lot of it is the fact that I just really like the song Africa from Toto. And what I love a lot about that song is just the music. You know, all the way from the xylophones to just all the elements of the instruments being played in that track. Those are all present in While It Lasts. And that has really helped that song grow for me. I still kind of, when Jay goes in and goes singing, I have these moments where I'm like automatically critiquing like what they could have done different. Like, well, could we have tuned this differently? Could we have added extra vocals? Maybe have Shaggy do singing with him? man, if only they had legs. Now I'm just immediately going down into these different tracks or different routes of thoughts of like, this is what they could have done to make this. But then that fucking hook comes on and I'm just like singing along to it. And I ain't mad at it. It was definitely a little bit of a shock for me. It wasn't what I was expecting going into this album. They've put out some absolutely amazing album closers. All the way back to fucking Pass Me By, which is, I still rank as my favorite ICP song. It's the song that got my attention and made me finally become a juggalo in my sister's room years ago. Fucking Nothing's Left, amazing. Thy Unveiling, amazing. Fucking It's All Over, the real finale, the real final track to Bang Pow Boom. If you have the Nuclear Edition, it's the better closer of the two. Bang Pow Boom's not bad, but I really like It's All Over. Forever, amazing. Time, amazing. Forever, not Forever. Sorry, Freedom off of Fearless Fred Fury, the real album closer, because Like It Rough doesn't exist to me. Great. Something to See, great. All of these great classic closing album or great closing tracks from all the other Joker cards was there in my head, and I'm like, all right, they're gonna give us something amazing with While It Lasts. And even going back to Gods of Evil Rides from Zool again, they had one on there, From the Heart. Great fucking closing track, produced by Mikey Clark. So I just kind of went into While It Lasts with so many expectations. The more that I've listened to While It Lasts, though, the more I've found what I like about it. Do I think it's the worst closing song they've ever had? I mean, I would probably still put it up there pretty low for closers to me. I would say I See the Devil might be on par with it. There is some singing on there that I think with Young Wicked, like, I don't mind Young Wicked singing on Lost at all. I don't mind his singing on Found at all. I actually think that Young Wicked brought some really dope elements to The Marvelous Missing Link. But yeah, with While It Lasts, I don't know. I was expecting something different, and when it didn't happen, that's kind of where it fell short for me. So let's go ahead and jump in and talk about my favorite tracks. Like I said, I normally give 5. I cannot for the life of me narrow it down from 6. So I'm just going to give you 6. I hope you guys are okay with that. So in my top 5, I have the Naught. I've got Everybody Dies. I've got Only Wicked Shit, Dead Kelly, Cinnamon Pigtails, and I'm Still Breathing. And I really honestly several times have had the thought that they really could have ended the album with I'm Still Breathing. They easily could have took that and put that at the end of the album, and it would have closed out the album great. I think it fits the vibe. It fits the message very well. It's essentially like another Okay from Found. It's essentially like a We'll Be Alright, you know? Like, there's so much like bad shit that could be going on in your life, but at least you're still breathing. Like, even if you're in jail, you're still breathing. It could be worse, because you could be dead. And fitting the vibe of the Knot, where there's nothing after life, like, it could be worse. You could be dead and non-existent anymore. At least you're still breathing. I love the message behind that. I really feel like that could have been a great closer. But I also, again, I get what they were going for with While It Lasts, so I ain't mad at them putting it where they did. It feels like a nice little... It feels like a really good break in the album as well to have I'm Still Breathing. I do think that they probably should have had I'm Still Breathing and then go into the second Flashback. Maybe split it up and not have it go from I'm Still Breathing, which is a very serious, deep meaning song, and then go right into Pop Out, which I think is another big reason that makes that kind of such a shock to me, to go from something deep and meaningful to something about titties. I'm not a titty guy. I'm more of an ass guy. So I don't know. But I'm Still Breathing, absolutely love it. Cinnamon Pigtails, I really like. I like the beat. This one was produced by Mikey Clark. And I don't know, there's just, the chorus is a little bit redundant with the cinnamon, 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 pigtails go. Fly away, fly away, fly away. It's a little redundant, but goddamn, I'd be a lying motherfucker if I didn't say I don't sing along to that every fucking time. And actually, it was quite funny. One of the days that I was listening to it, I was on my way to work and was pulling into the parking lot, had windows down, and one of my coworkers seen me singing along like that. and laughed, and then we waved. So I have a little funny memory tied to that now as well. But man, like, even as I'm sitting here looking at like Watch Me, Happy Fun Day, like these are songs that like I really like them. Watch Me is fucking great. And I'm not even, like I said, it's not even a favorite track, but it very well could be. I've had such a hard time narrowing it down. The album is really fucking great to me. It starts off really fucking great to me. It really loses steam at Pop Out to me. That's where it starts to hit some bumps. I do think Flashback 2 helps really captivate it. I love the sense of dread with the you know, like Jaws. That's kind of what I think. I think Megs in our listening party compared it to like a horror movie, like you're in a hotel going down a dark hallway. There's like that sense of dread with that instrumental, and I think it was produced by Shaggy the Airhead. Like I'm saying, Shaggy the Airhead really can produce some dope fucking beats. And look, no producer tags. I know that was a big thing for everybody going into this, is they did not want producer tags. Everybody Dies, great callbacks to Everybody Rise. Great fucking track. Only Wicked Shit, really fucking great beat. And that fucking line from Jay, I grow my dreadlocks out and drop Fuck the World 2, which I thought was interesting because when they recorded Amazing Jekyll Brothers, he didn't have dreads. He'd already cut them off by then. Because that happened during what? The House of Horrors tour. So I think what he should have said is, well, I don't know, maybe it makes sense, I guess, if he grows them back out, cuts them back off, and then drops Fuck the World 2. I guess that's maybe where he was going with it. I think my head just kind of went, but he didn't have dreads for a Jekyll Brothers. That was Malenko. So my brain kind of did a weird thing with it. And Dead Kelly is just a track that the chorus has become quite an earworm, and I really fucking just love the track. I like kind of the story behind it. Like, for me, Dead Kelly is this dead body. It's another kind of song about finding a dead body. And to me, the character in this, Jay, in this particular song, finds this dead body, and he's like obsessed over her, wanting to know what happened to her. Where are you? And then even with Shaggy coming in and talking about she don't care, like, this is just a dead body. And I think that kind of adds a message as well to it, to the fact that once you're dead, it doesn't fucking matter. So like, Dead Kelly doesn't care what happens because she's dead. She doesn't fucking give a fuck. And I think that almost kind of in a way plays into the fact that like some people will say, you know, don't speak ill of the dead. There's that a lot, or, you know, show more respect, they just died. I think that fits the vibe, I think, as well, of the Naught to Nothing. Is like, once you're dead, what does it matter? Like, you're dead. So I think that is kind of the message or meaning or whatever significance behind Dead Kelly. That's at least what I picked up from it. But yeah, like I said, this album absolutely killed it for me. I love it. I love it. And I know there's people out there saying they don't like it. And here I am once again dropping a review for an ICP album, for a Joker card, where other people out there don't like it. And I'm like, I like this. This is good to me. Like, this is great. This has been how it's been for me, though, going all the way back to The Tempest. I had seen somebody on Reddit talk about that, how it feels like for the last several albums, you have a huge mix of people that either like it, you have people that don't like it, whatever. And I straight up, I went and I commented, like, it's been like that since The Tempest. Like, I remember when The Tempest dropped, people shit all over that album. I'm like, I like The Tempest. And it's cool to see people come around to it now. I think I've told this story before too, but when Bang Pow Boom came out, I heard more people say they loved Bang Pow Boom than Tempest. So I'm like, okay, Bang Pow Boom's going to be fucking great, because I didn't hear it for like 3 months until after it came out. So yeah, for me, the Naught, absolutely happy with it. Was not a disappointment in any kind of way. While It Lasts started off disappointing, but I see the vision now. I see what they were going for with that track. I mean, it's not the most amazing closer, but I can live with it. I can live with it. I think it's still fun. It's still catchy. I like that they ended off I'm Falling, doing like the callback to the Joker cards the same way that Thy Unveiling started. And I honestly had the thought, like, even if you really don't like While It Lasts, you can do what I did with Fearless Fred Fury and just delete I Like It Rough. Like, to me, that song don't exist. The album ends with Freedom. You could delete While It Lasts if you really don't like it. Have the album end with I'm Falling and end with that and the Naught. Have it fade into nothing. And honestly, that to me would build into the significance of, like, This is different than your traditional Joker card. Like, it's not tied to the Dark Carnival. And honestly, they threw the 17 gimmick in there, having it be 17 tracks. They really could have not done that. They really could have had it in the 16 and really made it different. I mean, both Missing Links are only 16 tracks, and I feel like with all of the bonus tracks for Bang Pow Boom, that album definitely is not 17 tracks. So they really could have done that with this. They could have had it fall short of 17 and not fit that vibe, not fit that formula. But, you know, they decided to go ahead and do that. But I do feel like the album does end well with what happens with I'm Fallen. And I feel like that whole song really kind of fits that, like, void, that echo of a void. Like, when you die, there's nothing. You just fall into nothingness. That, to me, is kind of a feeling that I get listening to I'm Fallen. So, all in all, absolutely was happy with the Naught. I'm not disappointed with it. I'm satisfied with it. The artwork absolutely has grown on me. I do love it a lot. I think that'd be a really fucking sweet shirt, a really fucking sweet jersey. I know they were selling them at the Gathering. Yeah, I do not have a physical copy of this album yet. I don't know if and when I will get one. Some point down the road, probably. I did not get one yet. So, but tell me down below what you guys like about the Naught. What are some of your favorite tracks? I thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.